You must have been surprised. There are divorce papers on the table. I've been staying at my parents' house since yesterday. I'm not coming back until you visit me and apologize. Oh, I see. That's what you meant. Then you don't need to come back. I have nothing to apologize for. What? You're still acting like this after everything? That's it. I'm serious this time. I'm filing for divorce. We're already divorced. Hi, I'm Mia, a 30-year-old office worker. After college, I started working at a public company, and I've put a lot of effort into my career ever since. The reason I've been able to work so hard is because of the amazing people in my life. The most important one is my childhood friend, Sophie. Sophie and I met in junior high school. We were in the same badminton club and quickly became best friends. But we were also rivals, constantly pushing each other to be better. We stayed late after practice to train, and before tests, we'd study together and compete for the highest scores. We went to the same high school and later, the same university. We were inseparable and always striving to outdo each other in a friendly way. Sophie played a huge role in shaping who I am today. Even after we started working, we stayed in touch, sharing updates about our lives and motivating each other to keep pushing forward. Sophie followed her dream of studying abroad in Japan after university. She eventually landed a job there and built a life overseas. Ever since she was a kid, she had dreamed of living in another country. It's incredible to see her achieve that. She taught me that if you chase your dreams, opportunities will come your way. When we talk, her happiness and confidence inspire me to think about what I want for my own future. Another important person in my life is my husband, Adam. I met Adam when I was 24 during a group outing. He was a few years older than me and worked for a big company. He came across as thoughtful and kind, and we were both drawn to each other. After a few dates, we started a relationship, and a year later we got married. What made me fall for Adam was his support during a tough time in my career. Back then, I was overwhelmed at work. I felt stuck, unsure if I was doing the right thing. I was working hard but seeing no results, and it made me question myself. At the time, Adam, who was still my boyfriend, reassured me. Don't stress yourself out. You don't need to have it all figured out right now. Use these first few years to try new things and take risks. It's okay to mess up. Your coworkers and managers won't hold it against you. Just focus on what excites you and go for it. I'm not in your company, so maybe it's easy for me to say this, but I believe in you. Hearing those words made me feel so much better. I stopped putting so much pressure on myself and started enjoying my work more. Adam was happy to see me more confident and relaxed, and I realized that he brought out the best in me. That's when I knew I wanted to marry him. After we got married, Adam continued to be my biggest supporter. Whenever I struggled, he was always there to encourage me and remind me of my strength. Thanks to him, I never gave up on my goals and found real joy in my work. I've lived my life with the unwavering support of my best friend and my husband. Recently, all my hard work paid off. I was promoted to a higher position at work. I was so excited that I couldn't wait to tell Adam as soon as I got home. Adam, I did it. What happened? You look so excited, he said, glancing up from his phone. I'm going to be a section chief starting this spring. Oh really? He replied, sounding neutral. Yeah, it feels amazing to have my efforts finally recognized. Well, congratulations. Thank you. I even bought some steak to celebrate tonight. Let's have a special dinner, I said with a big smile. I was over the moon about my promotion, so I didn't notice right away, but Adam's behavior started to change after that day. At first, it was subtle. Then it became more obvious. I'm home, I said one evening. Welcome home, Adam replied flatly. Why are you coming home so late these days? He asked, frowning. I'm sorry, I explained. I was reviewing a report my team prepared. It took longer than expected. Well, hurry up and make dinner, he snapped. Huh? Oh yeah. Of course, I stammered, caught off guard. Adam used to help out with chores whenever he could. But lately, even when he came home earlier than me, he wouldn't lift a finger. Instead, he started criticizing me more often. Why do you always stay at work so late? He demanded one night. My responsibilities and workload have increased since I became a section chief, I said. That's not an excuse. Plenty of people in higher positions come home on time. You're just inefficient at your job, Mia. It takes you forever, so you have to work overtime. Maybe, I said quietly, but I'm really doing my best. Well, don't let your overtime affect your chores. I can't focus on my own work if you keep slacking at home. I'm sorry, I mumbled, feeling a lump in my throat. Adam had never spoken to me this way before. His words stung, and I couldn't understand why he was suddenly so cold. I didn't realize that my late hours at work were upsetting him this much. At that time, I still respected and cared deeply for my husband, Adam. I couldn't see that his harsh words were rooted in jealousy. Even so, work kept me incredibly busy, leaving me with little time or energy for anything else. Whenever I came home late, Adam's anger grew worse. Why can't you manage chores and work better? He'd snap. How can you even be a section chief if you can't multitask? His constant criticism made me doubt myself. I started feeling like I wasn't good enough. It all became too much to bear, so I decided to call my best friend, Sophie. Hey, Mia. How are you? Sophie asked cheerfully. Hi, Sophie. I don't know, I said, my voice trembling. Mia, every time I ask how you're doing, it's always something tough, huh? What's going on? Sophie always understood me better than anyone else. As soon as I heard her voice, I broke down in tears and told her everything. I shared how Adam was always hard on me, how he belittled me, and how I was stuck doing all the housework by myself. Sophie listened quietly and then said, Mia, I know you're always doing your best. Even though we live far apart, I can see how hard you're working. You became a section chief because of your dedication, and that's something to be proud of. Do you really think so? I asked, wiping away my tears. Absolutely, Sophie said. But the way Adam has been treating you lately, it sounds like jealousy to me. Jealousy? You think Adam is jealous of me? Does he hold a position higher than section chief at his job? No, he doesn't, I admitted hesitantly. Exactly. I know he works for a big company, but men can be sensitive about career success. Seeing you, someone younger, get promoted first might be hard for him to handle. Oh no, if that's the case, what should I do? Well, it's tricky. Maybe he'll feel better once he gets promoted too. Until then, you might need to be patient, Sophie suggested. I guess so. Thanks for listening, Sophie. You don't need to worry too much, though. I already feel better just talking to you. Call me anytime, Mia, Sophie said warmly, even if it's just to chat about silly things. Thanks, I'll do that, I said, smiling for the first time in days. That call helped me feel lighter, but Sophie's words about jealousy stuck with me. I decided to avoid mentioning work or how busy I was around Adam. Unfortunately, that didn't make things better. Adam's behavior worsened, and eventually he started trying to control me. One day, I was talking to Sophie on the phone during my day off. Adam walked into the room and abruptly ended the call. What are you doing? I asked, shocked. What am I doing? What are you doing? Adam shot back. Why are you wasting your time talking on the phone when there's so much to do? I wasn't being that loud, I said defensively. Don't talk back to me. You're the one who does whatever you want and ignores the chores. You're a bad wife. You're always lounging on the couch doing nothing, I said, my voice trembling with frustration. Why should I take all the blame? Because housework is the wife's job. If you can't handle it, then you deserve the blame, Adam said harshly. Why do you always look down on me? I asked, hurt. We're husband and wife. We're supposed to be equals. Equals? You and me. Don't be ridiculous, he scoffed. If you don't shape up and start being a better wife, I'll divorce you. Divorce? I asked, stunned. Yes, divorce. Get your act together, or it's over, Adam said before storming out of the room. I sat there in shock, staring at the door as it slammed shut. Slowly, I picked up my phone and messaged Sophie, apologizing for the sudden disconnection. Sophie had heard my husband yelling on the phone and immediately asked if I was okay. She could sense something was wrong. When I told her what Adam had said, she was shocked. That's way over the line. I can't believe he's talking about divorce so easily, Sophie said, disbelief in her voice. I felt the same way. His jealousy had become unbearable. From that moment on, any love I had for Adam started to fade. Then something happened that made all my remaining feelings for him disappear in an instant. I received an exciting message from Sophie. She was getting married. I was so happy for her and couldn't wait to celebrate her big day. A little while later, I got the invitation to the wedding. It would be held in Japan, where Sophie lived. Of course I was going to go. I had already requested time off from work, but I couldn't bring myself to tell Adam. I knew he'd be upset about it. But I had already booked the tickets. It was time to tell him. I nervously approached Adam and explained that I would be going to Japan for Sophie's wedding. As expected, he exploded. Are you serious? You can't even do the housework properly, and now you want to go abroad. It's not just a trip. It's my best friend's wedding, I replied, trying to stay calm. I don't care what it is. You're my wife. You should be home. If you go, I'll divorce you. Why are you always threatening me with divorce? I'm your wife, but that doesn't mean I can't leave the house for a while. I'll be back right after the wedding. You'll only be alone for a few days. No, you're not going. I've made up my mind, he shouted, cutting me off. Can't you at least try to be reasonable? I asked, frustrated. In a fit of anger, Adam stormed off to his room. That was when I realized I couldn't live like this anymore. From then on, I tried to avoid upsetting him. I quietly packed for the wedding and sent my luggage to my parents' house so Adam wouldn't find out. The day I was leaving for Japan, I stopped by my parents' house before heading to the airport. I was feeling relieved, thinking my plan had worked, and Adam still had no idea I was leaving. I arrived safely in Japan. As soon as I landed, I started getting messages from Adam. Then he called me right away. Hey, where are you? Why aren't you home yet? I'm in Japan, I said, trying to stay calm. What? He responded, shocked. I told you, I'm here for Sophie's wedding. I told you I didn't allow this. I don't need your permission, I said firmly. I'm serious, Mia. If you keep acting like this, I'll divorce you. I was about to tell him I was done with his threats, but just then Sophie arrived at the airport to pick me up. I quickly told Adam I had to go and ended the call. After that, I muted his messages. I was finally free and happy to be with Sophie again. We spent the day sightseeing and had dinner together. The next day, I attended Sophie's beautiful wedding. She was glowing, and I couldn't have been happier for her. On my way back to the US, I felt content about how wonderful the wedding had been. But as soon as I got closer to home, the anxiety kicked in. I dreaded facing Adam again. When I opened the door to my house, I was relieved to see that Adam still wasn't home. But then my heart sank when I saw something on the table. It was the divorce papers. His part was already filled out. I realized then that Adam had been trying to force me into a corner, thinking this would threaten me into submission. But maybe he really wanted a divorce. Either way, it wasn't what I wanted, so I grabbed the divorce papers, packed my things, and left the house. I drove straight to my parents' place. They were shocked to see me come back with a big bag of things, but when I explained everything, they agreed that I should go ahead with the divorce. My parents filled out the witness form for me, and I filled in my part. I went to the municipal office to file the divorce papers. For the first time in a long time, I felt at peace, relaxing at my parents' house. But the next night, my phone rang. It was Adam. I was surprised since I thought he'd call sooner. I decided to answer. And when I did, he spoke to me in a condescending tone, almost like he was smirking. Were you surprised when you found the divorce papers on the table? I've been staying at my parents' house since yesterday. I'm not leaving until you come and apologize. I see. So that's what this is about. Well, you don't have to come back then, right? I don't have anything to apologize for. What? You're still acting like this after all this time. That's it. I'm seriously divorcing you. We're already divorced. What? I'm glad you already signed the papers. I was planning to leave you anyway when I got back. So now, we're strangers. Wait, you're kidding, right? Of course not. You're the one who put the divorce papers there. Oh no, that was just a threat. Come on. You think threatening me like that will make me more obedient? I need a break. Why do I have to be mistreated every day just to boost your fragile ego and pride? Just because you feel bad I got promoted before you? You're so pathetic, always making rude remarks. I had no idea you were so small-minded. Shut up. Don't try to act like you're in charge just because you got promoted. I'm not acting like I'm in charge. I'm just telling you the truth. You thought I was beneath you when we were dating and first married. You liked pretending to give me good advice, feeling proud of yourself. But now I see you for what you really are, jealous and full of pride. You probably didn't even realize it. Well, thanks to me now you know. You're mocking me, aren't you? Are we done? I don't have time to argue with a stranger. I've got a high position at work and am busy. I hung up. My ex-husband is probably furious right now. I never wanted to act superior, but after all the hurtful things he said, I had to say something to get under his skin. Later, I found out from mutual friends that he was still angry with me. He said, "I'll find someone more beautiful than her and be happy." So he started using a dating app. The woman he met turned out to be a scam artist. She took all his savings, millions of dollars, all at once. As expected, he was mentally crushed by it. Now he's low on confidence and gloomy every day. People are leaving him, and honestly, he brought it on himself. It was interesting to see what happens when someone loses their composure. Meanwhile, I've been working even harder. I'm now in charge of several big projects. Lena and I are still in touch, and I told her I'm planning to visit her in Japan for a long vacation. I'm going to keep working hard and show her how much I've grown. Jealous men are so pathetic, aren't they? It's sad that he thought he could control me with divorce papers. In the end, it's good that I left him behind. I can live independently, and next time, I'll find someone who doesn't have such a fragile ego.